What always set Star Trek apart from other science fiction was its optimism. A tomorrow where Earth is a utopia and things like income inequality and discrimination are ancient history. Star Trek wasn't only a TV show. It became a worldwide phenomenon. It shattered records, packed theaters, and turned its cast into stars. Yet, for all its size, there were plenty of things viewers were never meant to spot. Behind those futuristic sets and eye-catching costumes were slip-ups, hidden details, and outright mistakes that slipped past the lens. From bridge deck goofs to little-known truths about the people who made it, the series hides secrets only sharp eyes catch. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on those never-meant-to-notice moments. Join us for a closer look at Star Trek, the original series, and some surprising secrets you probably didn't know. Star Trek is an American science fiction series created by Gene Roddenberry. It follows the starship USS Enterprise and its crew as they push through the galaxy. The ship is commanded by Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner. With him, First Officer and Science Officer Spock Leonard Nimoy, and Chief Medical Officer Leonard Bones McCoy, DeForest. Kelly, every hour begins with that famous promise to go where no man has gone before. At first, the series was simply Star Trek. Later, fans and studios called it Star Trek, the original series, to distinguish it from the many successors that followed. The narrative sits in the Milky Way somewhere between 2, 3, 6, and 20, now 269, giving the showroom to tackle big questions about the future and humanity's place in it. Early production came from Norway Productions and Delu. Productions from 1966 to 1967 then shifted to Paramount Television through 1969. In Dawn, the United States. It ran on NBC from September 8, 1966, to June 3, 1969, though the very first public broadcast actually happened in Canada, on CTV on September 6, 1966. Ratings in the U.S. were shaky. After only 3 seasons and 79 episodes, NBC canceled it. In the United Kingdom, it arrived in 1969, coinciding with the Apollo 11 moon landing. Perfect timing for a show about spacefaring futures. Its real triumph came later. Through 1970s syndication, audiences rediscovered it worldwide. What began as a near miss turned into a cult classic, then a cultural movement. From there came 11 television series, 13 feature films, and an ocean of books, games, and toys. Today, it's remembered as one of television's most influential creations. The road there was anything but smooth. The idea took shape in 1964, when Gene Roddenberry brought his concept to Delu Productions, one of the era's great independent studios. He met Herbert F. Solow, Desilu's head of production, who believed in it and signed Roddenberry to a 3-year deal. Lucille Ball, who ran Desilu, didn't immediately grasp the show, but her backing proved decisive. Without her, Star Trek might never have launched. The concept evolved a great deal. The first pilot, The Cage, filmed in 1964, looked very different from the series fans know. The notion of stardates, for example, was added later with Solow's input. Delu first pitched the series to CBS, which passed. They already had Lost in Space in the pipeline. NBC showed interest and funded a pilot, but found it too cerebral. Unusually, NBC still liked the core idea and blamed the script, not the premise. They did something almost unheard of. They paid for a second pilot. That Dover, Where No Man Has Gone Before, made the difference. And the show landed on NBC's 1966 schedule. The path there, though, was full of gambles and rewrites, and the cast lineup changed dramatically along the way. After the first pilot was rejected, only Spock, Leonard Nimoy, survived into the reworked version. Majel Barrett returned too, but in a new role. The second pilot introduced the team audiences would come to love. William Shatner as Captain Kirk, James Dookan as Chief Engineer Montgomery Scotty Scott, George Takei as Lieutenant Sulu, first depicted as a physicist. Later, the ship's helmsman, Dr. Mark Piper, Paul Fix briefly served as ship's doctor, but DeForest Kelley joined as Dr. Leonard McCoy when Season 1 began and stayed a pillar of the show. Season 1 added key faces. Michelle Nichols as Lieutenant Ura, Communications Officer. Historic as one of the first African-American women in such a central TV role. Grace Lee Whitney as Janice Rand, Captain Kirk's Imman, who exited mid-season. And Majel Barrett reappearing as Nurse Christine Chappell in sickbay. In Season 2, Walter Koenig came aboard as Anson Pavel Chechov, adding another distinct voice to the bridge. With this ensemble, the USS Enterprise became a platform not only for adventures, but for forward-thinking casting. Even so, behind the camera, the show fought uphill. Before the first episode even aired in 1966, Star Trek nearly died. Desilu Productions had money troubles. The studio had jumped from one half-hour sitcom, The Lucy Show, to two costly hour-long dramas, Mission Impossible and Star Trek. And cash ran thin. By February 1966, Star Trek was close to being cut. Herbert F. Solow persuaded Lucille Ball to keep both shows alive. His conviction kept the Enterprise flying when many assumed it would crash. Even after the premiere, headwinds remained. Ratings were soft and NBC canceled the series after 3 seasons, but syndication gave it a second life in the 1970s, bringing millions of new viewers. What almost failed became one of history's most celebrated franchises. A perseverance story that mirrored the grit of its on-screen crew. And creating that believable world took more than sets. It needed costumes, props, and aliens that felt real. Bill T.H. designed the Starfleet uniforms, looks that remain instantly recognizable. He also created costumes for female guest stars and a parade of aliens. His work helped define Klingons, Vulcans, Romulans, Tellarites, Andorans, and Gideonites, giving each species its own silhouette and culture. At the same time, artist-sculptor Hua Chong, a veteran of Walt Disney Productions, became the magician behind the show's props. He built the flip-open communicator often credited with inspiring later mobile phone design. The trick hoarder, the portable scanner and recorder, and our analyzer, as well as medical tools for sickbay and engineering gadgets. He also brought to life unforgettable creatures like the Gorn and the Horta, together. Matt, Jeff, production design and the Enterprise itself, Bill Dees and Hua Chang made the ship and its universe feel lived-in craft that echoed far beyond. TV. Episodes of the original series quickly made the leap to home media. They were among the first TV shows released on VHS and Laserdisc in North America. The very first title offered for sale was Space Seed, issued in June 1982 to tie in with the film The Wrath of Khan. Early tapes went for $29.95 ARV, since most home video was rental-driven. By 1985, the first 10 episodes were sold for $14.95, with additional groups of 10 following in 1985 and 1986 that made Star Trek the first long-running TV series to be fully released for home viewing. Every episode eventually arrived on both VHS and Laserdisc. The response was huge. By 1986, sales hit 1 million units. Formats kept evolving. In the mid-1990s, single DVDs arrived, with 2 episodes each in production order. In the early 2000s, Paramount issued 3 deluxe season box sets, with featurettes and documentaries. Then, in 2009, CBS and Paramount announced Blu-ray releases. All 3 seasons came out that same year, from April through December. Those sets let viewers choose between original effects and enhanced effects via multi-angle. Later, CBS digitally remastered all 79 episodes again for DVD and Blu-ray, ensuring the series could reach new generations in the best possible quality. Star Trek has fired imaginations for decades, and its behind-the-scenes history can be as compelling as its plots. A watershed moment came with 1968's Plato's Stepchildren. In it, Captain Kirk and Arua share a kiss. Not the first interracial kiss on television, but the first between a black woman and a white man on American TV. The scene sparked debate. Some pushed to cut it,